gas prices, they've increased by $1 per gallon since last year. And the family of four pays $100 more per week for groceries. We know all those particular stats like that. So people are out here running around talking about President Obama should be doing more. You hear Speaker John Boehner. You hear people saying on the left that Republicans are all about drilling. Isn't the real fundamental issue here that every time some foreign country jacks around with the price of oil, we start freaking out? At what point do Americans finally realize, you know what? It might be time for us to have some alternative sources of energy and not keep getting jacked around by some other country.
Well, I hate to say this, but it's going to take a real catastrophe, an economic catastrophe for the American people to actually wake up and say, A, the President of the United States cannot control gas prices, and also, B, we need to really think about alternative...
And what's the catastrophe? $5 a gallon gas for 5 years?
Well, right, and something like that. But also, I hate to say this, and God, I don't want this to happen, but something like 2008, we're on the brink. We're literally on the brink of a financial collapse. And I mean specifically from a major standpoint where every single American is affected. And then the American people, I think, will wake up and say, okay, we got to do something. We saw that after 9/11. When, God forbid, something obviously happened, and then clearly the American people responded to that. We saw that after the financial collapse in 2008. People responded to that. Unfortunately, it's going to have to take a major, major catastrophe.
That's the American response.
That's how we respond. That's how we respond.
No country, in terms of this latest instance, has jacked around with oil. There is no supply problem. This was speculators who, looking at what was going on in Libya and looking at what's going on in the Middle East, just got some rumblings that something might happen in the future affecting oil supply.
Okay, and now let's keep in mind, if you look at the stock market, that's also how that situation works.
Right.
Steve Jobs all of a sudden goes into the hospital, Apple stock goes down.
Exactly.
So that's what happens. But I keep going back to this point of here we are complaining about oil, okay, not our oil, not here. When you're at the mercy of some other country, this is what happens.
Well, because people haven't felt the pain yet, to your point.
Well, they're feeling it, but they don't know who to blame yet.
They don't know who to blame yet. Eventually, somebody will blame the president, and I hate to bring up this person's name because we just left him, but I have to do it. Then you have Donald Trump, who goes on television as right now, I think probably the first or second, leading Republican running for president or almost running for president, saying,
fake Republican,
if I were going into Libya, I'd just steal the oil. And a lot of Americans...
People are going, that's a great idea.
Right, exactly, because we don't want to explore in our own backyard, which we absolutely should be doing. We should be looking at alternative sources of energy, and instead we have this cowboy mentality of steal the Arabs' oil. It's ridiculous.
But there's also a political element to this, and the president ran on green jobs. The president talks about oil independence and whatnot, but when it comes down to hard political decisions, people run for cover.